Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to ask, what do we need to know? We're just going to say that in general. What do we need to know in general? What do we need to know? I know we need to know something. So let's go ahead and we'll grab this big deck. This is the, I always forget the name of this. This is the Caroline Miss Archetype cards. It gives us a lot of info, let me tell you. It really gives us, it's packed with information, these archetype cards. So this should be fun. So what do we need to know? Oh, it's almost kind of like tell us what we need to work on as a collective versus what we're doing well in. So for the collective, please, for anyone who's watching, for my viewers, what is going well? What do we need to know? Or what do we need to know? What do we need to know right now? What do we need to know? We're just going to leave it very generalized. What do we need to know? Let's pull 6 cards. What do we need to know, please, when it comes to the collective? Those who are viewing, for past, present, and future viewers. I know I said past. That sounded weird, huh? On any timeline. Viewers from every timeline. I can only see viewers on my timeline. I can't see viewers on the other timelines. But anyway, anyone who views this, let's make it specialized to you. 6 cards. Gotta shuffle one more time. 6 cards. What do we need to know for the collective? 6 cards. What do we need to know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Interesting. All right. So, for the most part, the viewers, you got more what's going well than what's not going so well. Okay. So that's interesting. So what's going well is interesting. We got lover. That seems to be going well for those of you who are viewing. And it says you have a great passion and devotion and unbridled appreciation for someone or something. So there's something or someone that you have a great passion and devotion for, but it's a healthy one, versus if it wasn't healthy, it would be more obsessive and more self-destructive. So that's good. Woohoo! The other one is athlete. So my viewers, you are definitely doing well with transcending your physical limits, including any handicaps that you may have, any limitations such as handicaps. You are transcending those, and you're developing your personal willpower and your strength of spirit. I love that. And that is under the athlete archetype card. But of course, you don't have to be an athlete, right? This is more about willpower and more about transcending physical limitations, which I did, by the way. I have to say, I fractured my foot, and then I only had a few weeks before I went away on vacation, and so I decided to fast, and to heal my body, and I did very well on vacation. So that's an example of transcending your physical limitation. Doesn't mean I'm an athlete. I transcended that though. Because I researched it, I'm like, hell no, I'm not canceling my vacation. Anyway, also what's going well for the collective is the hermit. So the hermit seeks solitude, focuses intently on their inner life, and serves their personal creativity. Oh, I love that. So that's going really well for you, my beautiful viewers. So the hermit is the light aspect of it, because the shadow would be more withdrawing from society out of fear and negative judgments of others, and refusing to be helped and that type of thing, or refusing to help those in need as well. So the other, I know it's going to sound funny because this doesn't sound like, this sounds very negative, but you are also doing well when it comes to the archetype of bully. I know that sounds weird, but there's a light. See, so this is what's great about these archetypal cards is that now you understand how there is no, there is no just darkness. There's a light aspect and a dark aspect to everything, right? Everything has a divine feminine, everything has a divine masculine. Okay, everything has that balance. Everything's the same side of the coin. Everyone is the shadow. Everyone is light. Okay, so the bully is also light. So what does that mean, Mary Beth? It highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Oh, interesting. So what you're doing is you're confronting those demons inside of you that are bullying you. So that's the light aspect of bully. You're able to stand up to first of all, you're able to stand up to your own inner fears, your own inner workings that are bringing you down. You are standing up to that. I'm laughing because I feel like I have to do that every day. Not my fears, but entities that come inside of me. I feel like they bully me. It's kind of interesting the way they bully me. I look at it as bullying. They may not look at it as bullying, but I look at it as bullying, and I really have to stand up to them. I really have to stand my ground. And yes, I'm being a bully back, but I'm standing my ground. It's my body, my energy field. In the physical, right? Obviously, we're all one. But anyway, the shadow attribute of bully would be to conceal deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. But because you're doing well with archetype of bully, you are confronting your inner fears that bully you, and you are understanding and being aware of your tendencies towards others. You're being aware. Is what I'm getting from that. Because sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. You have to. That's very different than being abusive, right? Okay, so here's where we need work as a collective. We have Avenger reverse. Now, usually, if that's going well, that would be the desire to balance the scales of justice, right? But the shadow is more resorting to fighting, resorting to maybe treating someone not very well in the name of a cause, right? Putting the cause instead of a person. So let's say it's your mom and dad, right? So let's say your mom and dad, they're for a particular, we'll just say, cause or political party, and you feel the opposite. So now you're putting that cause before your parents, right? So that would be the Avenger reversed versus just the desire to balance the scales. Right, it says righteousness on behalf of society or oneself, but it's really just balancing out the scales where everyone's a winner, right? That's more the light aspect of the Avenger, or making something right, but it's not going to hurt anyone, if that makes sense. Anyway, I think you know what I'm saying. So the Avenger came out reversed. And so sometimes we all in certain aspects in certain areas in our lives, right? Like because none of us are perfect in all areas of our life. Like we could all think about areas in our life where we're really good at this, right? We're really good at feeling balanced, and we're open to all perspectives in that particular area of life, right? Then there's another area of life where we're really kind of stubborn. We're like, no, there's a right and there's a wrong. And it's really hard because the oneness, which seems to be the twin flame journey, seems to be the journey to oneness, is my own perspective. It doesn't have to be yours. But when I see the word union, I think about union with all. Well, that's what I keep being told anyway from myself. Anyway, and so when we're avenging what's right and what's wrong, I do have very clear right and wrong to me. But then but what I understand is the pendulum swings. If I go too far, if I go too far to a like a side on any given subject, if my pendulum swings too far, then it swings that far back. Because something will happen in my life. Like I'll give you an example. So let's just say I'm not a meat eater. I'm just not. But if I go around and I start demonizing meat eaters, I promise you, the soul will give me some kind of sickness where now I have to eat meat. And if I don't, I'll become anemic. Something will happen. Like the pendulum will swing to the other side so that I'm very accepting of meat eaters, if that makes sense. I promise you. Like, here's a good example. I was very, very, very upset with people who cut down trees. I'm noticing that in my neighborhood, people cutting down trees. And it really kind of upset me because I love trees, and I'm thinking, oh my God, why are you cutting down trees, right? And I was really getting mad. But then my own tree started wreaking havoc in my yard, where I didn't cut my tree down, but I had to, I had to cut it down a lot. Like it got to the point where my neighbors were complaining. Um, the branches were these huge branches were just falling, and it was like taking, you know, my not my roof down, but like little tiles, stuff like that. And then I was thinking, okay, now I understand why people take down trees. I guess because it's expensive, right? To trim a tree, it's like 800 to like $1,000 to trim a tree. So it's like, okay, I guess I understand. But see, but if you come to one side too much, something will happen where they'll make a fool out of you. So it's really best to be in balance. Because I catch myself the minute I start taking a side, I'll get super quiet. I'll be like, never mind. Because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get karma for that. I remember I stated at work, I said, yeah, my team never gets overturned on in hearings when it comes to this particular thing. I swear to God, the next thing that happened was I got 5 overturns on that particular subject. I'm just like, I can't win. I see the universe made a fool out of me again. And so yeah, so just watch for that. You have to be open and you have to be in the middle, because if you swing too much, the pendulum will be like, okay, the pendulum's gonna swing back. It's like, and it'll keep doing that until you get into balance. Something will happen to you that will shake you up, and then you won't be able to be stubborn with your side anymore. Okay. Anyway, that's my experience. I can't speak for everyone. And then the last one is femme fatale. Femme fatale is something that the collective needs to work on, which I find very interesting. So the light side of femme fatale is about highlighting the erotic energy of the feminine, right? That's like being the goddess, loving yourself, feeling sensual, loving your body. I mean, you see that there's definitely a coming of, about of enjoying your own body as a woman. That type. You see a lot of those types of healing type programs coming. I do. I don't know if you do. But anyway, and that your heart is open. It says here, I'll tell you exactly what it says. It says, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. That's very interesting. So, to have your heart open when your dependency is rejected, that's pretty high level stuff right there. You feel dependent on something and then it's rejected and then it rejects you. Yikes. Well, that's the, but anyway, so but the shadow is inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. So that's hard, right? Because we live in a world where we were taught and programmed to feel attached, right? To feel attached to mom and dad, right? We were attached, right? We felt maybe to our pets, we felt attached to friends. We kind of were programmed to learn that we need to be attached to people, certain people, and then maybe loved ones, right? Your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And then, of course, money. Everyone seems to feel a bit programmed when it comes to money and their attachment to money. And the reason why I say people are attached to money is that sometimes they will, myself included, will sell out for money. If you get a lot of money, I'll give you an example. When I worked on Wall Street, I knew there was cheating going on Wall Street, and I saw it. But I was making a lot of money, and so I was told to shut up and keep quiet, and I did. So that's a sellout right there. Now, not to say I didn't have to do depositions after that. Like I said, the pendulum always swings to the other side, right? So depositions were made. Oh man, a lot of depositions were made after that. So, but I think for a lot of people, they'll sell out if they feel attached to something. And I hate to say it, but I have to bring it up. And a lot of this I think has to do with the twin flame journey. I think this part is really what upsets family members and friends of people who are on the twin flame journey is that we too will sell out to be with our twin flame. So what does that mean? Well, we'll settle. We'll settle for someone who doesn't treat us the best, for someone who runs away, for someone who doesn't say they love us, for someone that tells us they love someone else or they'd rather be with someone else or whatever it is that they say to you or whatever it is, right? And I always do say that, hey, got to forgive your twin flame, and also they have no choice but to mirror back your wounds, which is absolutely 100% true. The wounds is being mirrored back to you. And so it's a good way to understand how wounded you are. And even though I've done so much work, it's like they expand you so much that they go, your woundedness goes back all your past lives to like the caveman years, and it just never seems to, it's just this never ending, the whole healing process of that. So what I'm trying to say is if you're willing to settle, where you're willing to settle with for someone who constantly runs away, who doesn't show you love, who doesn't show you respect, that's being the femme fatale reverse. Like that's something you need to work on. Like you need to open your own heart and love yourself enough to be with someone who treats you well, someone who cares about you, someone who loves you, someone who shows you respect. And I'm not saying dislike your twin flame, or I'm not saying to be unforgiving to your twin flame. No, because it's not their fault, right? They have no choice but to mirror back your wounds. But at the same time, as you're healing yourself, and once you know you're doing that, right? So like if you're literally not doing that and you're literally not healing yourself, you're literally just yearning for someone and just waiting for the day that they come back and just say, oh, I know it's almost here and blah, blah, blah. Oh, my intuition is saying they're coming back. And you're not doing any work. Well, that's on you, right? But if you're doing all this work and you're healing and you feel like you're getting better and you're starting to get stronger and there are days that go by where you're not even thinking about your twin flame, then you know it's working. And that's when you can start to say to yourself, do I want to settle? Right? Because is that person actually going to change? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But if you feel like the person that is your twin flame is not treating you the way you feel you should be treated, or that the way you treat yourself, the femme fatale is saying that's kind of having attachment, and it's kind of selling out for that attachment. And like I said, people do that with money, People do that with power. They're willing to sell their souls for money, for power, for love, an obsession, for drugs, right? It's pretty common. And I don't think any of us can say we've never done that. I think we've all sold out. We sell out for I could do that with my YouTube channel. I could, you know what? I could change my whole YouTube channel into doing the DM and DF energy update. You know what would happen? I would get a ton of subscribers. I would get a ton of views, and I would get a ton of customers just by doing the DM and DF energy update. The problem is the DM and DF energy update, it doesn't help anyone, and all it does is make somebody addicted to feeling like, when are they coming back? And I didn't want to go that route because that's just, for me, that would be selling out. That would be me selling out for views, for subscribers, for customers, which is why I took a break for that long time last year, because I had to rethink everything and say, I feel like what I'm doing I was trying to make my DM and DF energy update into something more helpful, where I was teaching. So I think it might have been a little bit better, but at the same time, I was still putting that out there where it was like, oh, looks like your twin flame's coming back soon. According to twin flame, they love you, and and all that does is make people addicted, and all that does is make people want readings, and people just want to talk about their twin flame, and it's never about the whole self-healing. And to me, that was selling out for me. And so I said I'd rather just get hardly any views, hardly any subscribers, if I'm helping a couple of people. So it's like that type of thing, right? And so being the femme fatale, opening your own heart, loving yourself, right? Understanding that you're the goddess, treating yourself like a goddess, and therefore mirroring back that person who's with you is also treating you like a goddess, right? Because you love yourself so much, that is what's being reflected back to you, rather than your wounds being reflected back to you, where it's like, I want to be with you. I don't want to be with you. That type of thing. And it's just like, and then you don't know why you constantly want to keep going with it, or wanting them to come back, when really the soul is doing that. The soul is the emotion part of you, is making you yearn for that person, but they're doing it for healing purposes, because they don't give two craps about you ending up with that person. The soul's like, what do I need to do to get you to heal all of our wounds? These wounds are from unconscious stuff that you don't even remember. Only I remember as the soul. I need to heal before I can go back to heaven, or wherever the next journey is. So the soul's like, I don't give two craps about that person. I'm going to make you think you want that person, because we need to heal. And whatever I need to do to get your attention, make you addicted to something. For some people, it's making them addicted to drugs. For some people, it's making them addicted to their loved one. It just depends what the challenge is. Anyway, I do hope that helped. So again, it's just what do we need to know? And it was funny because I was trying to go more general, where I wasn't going twin flame-ish. I just wanted to like what in general, but I don't know. It always seems to go in that twin flame direction, doesn't it? Femme fatale. Yeah, just loving yourself, feeling sensual with yourself. And it doesn't matter about the other person, because what this shows is inappropriate use of your own sensuality, inappropriate attachment to a person, to money, to power, that type of thing. Whew, well, it's 24 minutes, so I do feel like I went a little bit too long on this, but thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate all of you. I do hope that helped. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.